choosing to be obedient, not only in your walk with Christ, but also in your walk, in your healing journey. Be obedient to yourself. Be obedient to your spirit, right? And I'm not saying to be self-serving, but definitely when you feel the urge to accomplish a thing, go for it. If you feel the urge to cut someone off, go for it. If you feel the urge to start making boundaries and disciplining yourself and setting goals, go for it. Hey y'all, it's your little big sis CJ Renee, and we're back with another episode. Today we're talking about obedience. I have a strategic plan for you guys. We are going to start transitioning into our thrive, right? We did the healing, or at least some of you are still working on your healing. I'm still working on my healing, but while we're working on our healing, we have to start changing our story. We have to start changing the narrative, right? So with that being said, I'm going to give you guys a few pointers that will definitely help you with your transition from survival to thriving. From surviving to thriving. We're no longer surviving, we're now thriving, right? So first things first, obedience. Obedience, actually, believe it or not, is your key to success. I mean, there's nothing under the sun that has proven that fact wrong. I promise you. I promise you. From parents to jobs, right? To leadership of any sort. When you're obedient, people tend to favor you for that, right? So I want you guys to learn how to be obedient to the Spirit of God. Be obedient to whatever He's asking you to do, whether that be sowing a seed into a ministry, whether that be get up and start that business, whether that be go back to school, whether that be stop smoking weed, whether that be stop having sex, whether that be leave that boy alone, whether that be leave that girl alone, whether that be you need to start investing. Whatever it is, God has asked you or moved on your heart to do, you need to do it. The obedience is a sacrifice. The sacrifice equals favor, and favor ain't fair. People say that all the time, and I always felt like maybe it was just the same, but it's the reality of the situation. Favor ain't fair because not everybody can attain favor. Now, favor is available to everybody, but not just anybody can attain favor. Favor is for those who are obedient to the word of God, who are obedient to when God says move, you move, right? So when favor steps in, it makes the playing field uneven. It makes the playing field unequal. We are not equal to those who live in their sin, to those who are disobedient to God. When God says to sow your seed into this or to do that, they don't. So they don't get the reward that we will get from being obedient, right? For example, favor will literally open doors for you within your friendships, within your relationships, within your companies, your business. It will open your relationship with connections, so that God can align you with the right people. Favor will put you in rooms that you never stepped in before. Favor will literally open doors for you. So you want to start that business? You want to start going back to school? Favor is what's going to follow you. So you have to listen to what God is saying for you to do in order for you to reach your next level. So there's a story in the Bible. We know this woman as Lot's wife. We don't know her name. But a lot was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And Jesus sent down this fire brimstone situation, right? And he basically wiped out Sodom and Gomorrah. But as the town was burning and turning into a salt, right? The angel told Lot's wife not to look back, to keep going forward. But some of us, we have a hard time, one, being obedient and listening, right? And two, we have a hard time moving on from what no longer serves us, what no longer makes us who we need to be, what no longer feeds our spirit and gives us the nurturing that we need in order to grow and be better and go to a newer height in life. We always like to be on the surface level because surface is comfortable, right? You don't have to move too much in the surface level. You don't have to do too much in the surface level because it gives you enough just to get by, right? Survival is comfortable. It's comfortable because you don't have to expect the unexpected, and you don't have to be scared of anyone hurting you or being let down. Or we're done with that. We're done with that. We're done with that. We experienced enough trauma in our life to know how to operate in trauma, to know how to operate where we won't experience a new level of trauma. We know how to check that, right? We talked about all the things we need in order to be able to check ourselves, to be back on point and follow our path forward, to refocus ourselves, to recenter ourselves. We have all the tools we need to do that. All these videos I've made so far, if you guys are following it, those tools are laid along those videos. Listen to them. Take heed to them, right? Be obedient. So Lot's wife decided she wasn't going to be obedient. If you didn't read the story, let me tell you. Lot's wife did not make it to see where she needed to go. Lot's wife did not make it to that new land. Lot's wife did not. She did not. Another story of obedience. Our brother man Moses, right? He's the one that led the children of Israel into freedom. He led them into freedom. They were once slaves to the Egyptians, and he led them into freedom. Now, along the road, they were murmuring, complaining, and all this other stuff was going on. Yes, he was getting frustrated because he's the leader. He's the one that's in position of telling them what to do, where to go, talking to God, all of that, yada, 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 right? These people annoyed Moses so much that when God told Moses to speak to the rock, he struck the rock. Instead of speaking to the rock like Jesus told him to do, and the water was supposed to come out of the rock, he struck the rock. And because of Moses' disobedience, something as small as that, he did not make it to the promised land. There's a lot of things in our lives that we should have been obedient to. We shouldn't date that guy. We shouldn't have dated that girl. We should have put our money in savings account. We should have been on time to work every day. We shouldn't have called out so many times. What else? We shouldn't have been that person's friend for that long because we knew they wasn't no good. We knew it, but they were fun, right? There's areas in our lives that we still are being disobedient. But I'm telling you today, on this gloomy day outside, I promise you, choosing to be obedient, not only in your walk with Christ, but also in your healing journey. Be obedient to yourself. Be obedient to your spirit, right? And I'm not saying to be self-serving, but definitely when you feel the urge to accomplish a thing, go for it. If you feel the urge to cut someone off, go for it. If you feel the urge to start making boundaries and disciplining yourself and setting goals, go for it. Go for it. Be obedient to yourself. And then include God in everything you do. And when including God, God is going to give you more guidance. And you're supposed to follow those guidance. I promise you. When I first was initially on my healing journey, I didn't really know what I was going to be doing. I didn't really know what was going to be the next thing for me. But I remember in the middle of the night one night, God was speaking with me. And I said, you know what, God? Yes. Yes to your will. Yes to your way. Yes to the purpose and plan that you have for my life. And to this very day, the favor ain't fair, y'all. I'm telling y'all, I'm walking in victory everywhere I go. People looking at me like I don't understand. You actually are going through it, and you're still carrying a smile on your face. You still have real joy. This ain't fake. No, it ain't fake. Ain't nothing fake about me except for these extensions. Anyway, that was my alarm. I'm sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, it's your little big sis, CJ Renee, and this has been our 16th episode, y'all. We are gonna keep it rolling, and there's so much more we got to talk about. There's so much more for us to discuss and to learn. And I plan on having guests, like I really do. So y'all stay tuned to what 31 and Thriving has to offer, and I hope you guys are taking in all the information you could receive. And yeah, that's it. Be great, guys. Love y'all. To ensure you don't miss an episode of 31 and Thriving, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to share. It's y'all little big sis, CJ Renee.